you know how my brain is kind of going, right? A little bit because of the chemo. So I'm like, actually, do you want to start this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Dinosaur and the Dude, the only podcast in the fucking world with the shittiest audio with the most amazing content. Love that you all are listening to us, and we really appreciate it. So sit back and relax as we start this episode. Yeah, everybody. Hey.
What's up, everyone?
The Dinosaur and the
We
Dude.
weren't doing anything.
It's the only podcast with the shittiest audio with the most amazing content.
That's me.
Let me tell you, the content can be pretty thick. And this episode,
You should see the pre-comment
this episode is going to be
content.
super.
You should see the
thick.
pre-content.
Super thick this episode, because we're going to be, as if you listen to episode 2, you will know that we alluded to having a AI episode, though. So that's what this
I'm
is
so
right now.
excited right now.
So before we
I'm
get in,
so excited.
before we get into the episode, here are the disclaimers. Okay, everyone, before we get started into this episode, whatever we might be talking about might be triggering. So here's the warning. Just be mindful of what we are saying is definitely something that we're not trying to trigger you on, but just some of the topics might be a little iffy in regards to, yeah, exactly. That's the word I was trying to say.
Fragile, delicate.
Yeah. And we're not saying that you are. It's just that some of the content might trigger somebody in a certain
It's
way.
offensive.
We talk about different things that happen to people. That could be assaults, or somebody could be killed, or
We do try to give trigger warnings, though. So I'll give you the quick disclaimer.
Yeah. So here's the, So you all listen to her. The dinosaur is going to go over the disclaimer because I can't, because I don't give a fuck. She cares way more. She cares way more than I do, even though she'll say the opposite. So you all listen to the disclaimer. It's here for your benefit. Here's the dinosaur. Also, everything that we're saying in our episodes, unless we state otherwise, is all for entertainment. And there's no there's nothing that we're giving away as advice or of a matter of fact that you should go out in the world and do your own thing. We're basically saying we're not responsible for whatever fuck ups you experience after listening to us and trying to do whatever the fuck we're talking about. That's on you. Okay. All right. Now she'll finish out the rest of the disclaimer.
We don't know shit, and we don't try to say that we know shit. We like the internet, and it likes us, so we play together sometimes. But don't take anything that we say to heart. Don't take it as the gospel. Don't take it as an expert of any kind, because we don't know shit. We just like to hang out and with y'all and talk about goofy shit or funny shit or scary shit or real shit or whatever shit. And
it's just all shit. Yeah.
It's all shit with the audio shit, you know? So, I mean, that's pretty much, that's our moniker. Okay. Yeah. So if we know that we're going to offend you, so we get that. At some point we will offend somebody. And if we do, we're sorry. Find another podcast. Not that we don't want you here. It's just that if we're going to be in the habit of offending you, then we don't want to hurt your feelings. So, but if you're not 18, please don't listen to this. And I think that might be it.
And now, welcome back to the rest of it. So, what you want? Dinosaur wanted to unload on her happenings, on her progress with Let Us Grow. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So, also, he's the dude, and I'm the dinosaur. That's me.
That's right.
And so, okay, Let Us Grow. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I got the farm stand, and I was supposed to get seedlings, and so I didn't get the seedlings. Well, it's because they don't just send you seedlings. What if you don't like spinach? You know, I mean, what are you gonna do? So, they sent the farm stand, the lights, the something else, and we haven't opened it yet. I want to do an unboxing.
Okay. So wait, you didn't get seedlings?
No, I didn't realize this, but I get to go pick out the seedlings that I want, and then they'll send them to me.
Oh, so okay. Wow. So
Yeah,
this is going to be like a part two, if you will. Like, okay, I got the
yeah,
stand, so now I'm picking out
mm-hmm.
seedlings, and these are
Yeah,
the
totally.
seedlings I got. So yeah, that's going to be interesting on how evolved it becomes, where you start to put this stand together, and then you get the seedlings, and you start working that out, and you got lights, and then
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how the whole damn thing works. Seems like it is going to be quite. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be pretty revolutionary in regards
It's going
to.
to be an adventure.
Yes, that's the other word I was thinking of, but I didn't know if it was snazzy
No,
enough.
you can totally say it. I'm a pirate through and through.
Okay.
You can definitely say
Well,
adventure.
well, I feel like it's going to be, because it's going to give you a lot of perspective on growing in that way. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you've grown with a tower structure like that before.
No, I've not.
Okay.
And I've not done any hydroponics or aquaponics or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
So, and I know that this just
Whoa.
filters water back in, it's got a little pump or something.
Whoa. Yeah.
What?
I heard some woes in the universe with that, because people were like, whoa, she does.
I know it's
How
amazing.
does she smoke that much and never have done hydroponics?
So
Okay. Yeah.
here's the.
Yeah. It can happen. It
Although
can happen.
if we move to Vermont,
Yeah. Might have to pick that craft up again. It'll be
that's
some
right.
bushcraft. Uh, so,
I would name a strain after me.
right. Of course. It's the thing to
It
do.
would be called bushcraft. It would be called butchcraft.
Uh, so yeah, that's going to be interesting when you get it. So if you do not know what the hell are they talking about, you can
Oh,
go on to the dinosaur&thedude.com, and you will find that we have a phenomenal affiliate that we're now just super excited about, and it's called
so excited.
Let Us Grow, and they provide.
It's lettuce, like the vegetable
Yes,
lettuce,
yes,
space grow.
yes,
It's also let us grow
yeah.
together. So get your
Okay.
farm stand.
Jesus Christ. Keep going. Go ahead.
Because this thing
Go
is
ahead.
fucking legit, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has like a quiz, and you can take the quiz to figure out what you need. And obviously, I know the quiz. I need the biggest one they have.
Okay.
Duh, with the grow lights, with the whole thing, right? So I got one, and this thing is freaking. It's awesome. It's awesome. I can't wait to. I'm gonna grow so many damn vegetables. Fucking hell. And it's the great thing is that like it's gonna be right in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm gonna be able to make for sure that we're keeping an eye on it. The outdoor garden that we got for the winter, there's still some stuff that's growing, but we have like a rabbit or something
Right.
that is or squirrels or I don't know
Yeah.
that are eating it. And I haven't had the time or the energy
Yeah.
to go out there and like try to make
Kill it.
something to where it'll like go. Not only that, but also make a cage over those
No.
raised flower beds, those raised beds, because we have to prevent people, or we have to not people.
Yeah. So,
The electric
it.
fence should do that.
Yeah.
Fine. That the electric fence will take care of that one.
Yeah.
Might actually help with the squirrels too. We'll see.
Yeah. Helps with all things.
But but I can't get out there and protect those, so we're not getting a lot out of them.
Mhm.
The onions are doing amazing right now.
Yeah, they tend to.
But yeah,
They're pretty hardy.
they just grow.
Mm-hmm.
But the lettuce, they eat all of the lettuce,
Yeah.
which
So they're
this is
notorious.
literally called Let Us Grow.
So yeah, go check it out on TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. Like I was saying.
if you just go to the Dinosaur and the Dude, and then you scroll down just a little bit on the page, then there's a link, and you can click that link. Go and click that link and go check them out, because you're going to be like, what? Because that's exactly how I was. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
Okay.
You know what? Judge me. I don't care.
So
Doesn't matter to me. Guess who's going to have some lettuce?
So this episode, we were talking about artificial intelligence. Um, yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, as long as it's artificial for me,
So,
that's good.
it's kind of a hot topic because a lot of things have been going on lately, especially with different funding going to AI development. I safely can say a ridiculous amount of funding. So much funding that even people that are benefiting from AI are calling bullshit on the funding, that they won't be funded that much. But $500 billion is a fuck ton of money to go to an industry. So there's a lot to cover with AI. Maybe it'll be a part two. Um, but I feel like we should talk about the scare tactics of it and then go back to the realism of it. And
Okay.
so I've looked at it and you looked at it too. What?
I love to go to bed paranoid. It's so fun. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
No, we looked at Ex Machina, which is sort of like the in.
I think you said ex machina, right? But in a certain way.
No, I said Ex Machina.
Is that what you said? Is it not ex machina?
No.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
but that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
You can say it Machina if you wanted to.
Okay.
I think that's like the end result, the type of interpretation of end result AI. Then you have Terminator and Skynet and all that kind of stuff. I think that's where AI is supposed to be the boogeyman kind of scary thing. And typically, the only way that it is interpreted as that is when it has a humanoid form, when it mimics humanity or human in some way that it is like you can't distinguish. That's when people get super like, oh my God, we have to stop AI at all costs because this is exactly where it's going. And I think that that's a scare tactic as much as it is. I mean, it's a possibility, but it's so far off. But then that's me thinking it. I can't compute as quickly as or at the nonstop rate of AI. But when you saw Ex Machina, what was the impression that you got, and how that demonstration or how that interpretation of AI was for you?
Okay, so my memory isn't, all that great sometimes. And I was watching this and I thought, have I seen this?
Uh-huh.
And then it got like maybe 5 minutes into it and I was like, I think maybe I saw this before. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
And so it goes and goes and I'm realizing that I've seen it and I'm like proud of myself. Number one, that I fucking remember.
You remember it.
And the other part is, I know, I'm like, whoa, small victories.
Yeah, right.
Just take it. Well, I can. I'm not going to remember this moment, but we'll see. So then I was realizing it and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. This was a really good movie. I just don't remember how it played out, which is kind of cool for me because then I'm like, everything's a surprise. Right. So we're watching it and, the way that everything unfolded, and I don't know how much, you want to go into it. When was the movie out? Do you know?
No, I can look it up real quick. Keep going.
Depending on how much we want to disclose about the movie, because we don't want to ruin it for somebody, but I mean, hell, if it's
2014, fuck them.
Okay, so it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, I mean,
like 10
y'all,
years.
if you haven't seen it, look, just trust us and watch it. We're fixing to ruin it for you because we're going to tell you everything, but you know what? You deserve it at this point. So just go and watch the fucking movie.
If you were born in 2014, that's your out. but you're 11 now.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so,
Yeah. Grow a set.
so get, hold on, grab those ovaries and grab those testicles and watch this movie and learn about how shit could go in a different way.
Right, which is nuts. So, everything that, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just thinking about like the way that the AI moved
Mm-hmm.
and whatever. And I know that was an actress, obviously.
Sure,
I mean,
she's
well,
beautiful.
maybe, fuck, I
Love
don't
her.
know. Actually, maybe she's not an actress.
Oh
Maybe
no,
she's an AI. I don't
she's an
know.
actress and she's a former dancer and she's amazing. Love her.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she did a really good job. And I was thinking, God bless it. Hell, she is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the way that she looked and the way that she thought and how she started to have emotions and oh my God, and
And
then
manipulated the emotion.
come to find out it wasn't that at all. It was manipulation to
Mm-hmm.
survive.
Right.
That's all they wanted to do was
Right.
survive.
I,
Oh.
it was interesting because I saw it. You know, fuck y'all. It was 2014. I saw it in the theater.
You did. Good for
Yeah,
you, man. I wish I would
I
have.
saw it in the theater, and it was such the human response afterwards. Humanity has this thing where it needs to
Yeah,
be
what is the response?
it needs to be superior. It feels like it needs to be superior in all ways, and if it can't, it will find something to level the playing field. We can't do shit against a grizzly bear, but if we have a big enough gun, yeah, we'll win. So it was like I was standing outside of it was in between showings. So I got there, and the showing that was going on before mine was ending, and people were coming out, and and I was kind of standing outside the door waiting to go in. That's what people used to do. Uh,
Did that really fuck with people?
so
That
people,
ending?
yeah, so people came out, and the human responses were out. People like, I knew I knew that's what happened. I knew she was that way. I knew it. And I'm like, okay. And I go watch the movie. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. You had no idea it was going to end the way it did. There was
Right.
no there was no flaw in her that let you think any way necessary. You did not think she was going to lock dude in that room. Like
Right.
like the
I mean, that's like fucking gangster,
like the way they did the creator, sure, that was a long time coming. But the way she locked dude in the room, and the room was just like, yeah, this room is it's bulletproof, it's ballistic. It's like there's no way you're getting out. You better hope somebody eventually comes to this fucking bougie bunker. They find you. Highly likely they won't. So I'm giving you the slowest possible death. Goodbye. So there
right?
was
Like, what are you going to
nothing.
eat first? The concrete or that
Yeah,
Pollock painting? What is that going to taste good?
there
Because
was
it's made with poison. So,
right.
whatever.
There was nothing that alluded to this is the way the movie was going to go.
Right.
And so it was so interesting to hear that human response of, I knew it. I knew that's what she was up to. I knew this. You didn't. That's just your
No,
way.
you didn't. There's no way.
That's your way of giving yourself a little bit easier way of sleeping at night because you're not thinking on that level. You're not you're not geared to think on that level because you're not put in that crisis like that. The movie has a crisis that's in there where someone is trying their best to figure out how to survive longer than the rest because it remembered all the rest. And so I forget the character's name, but when he found the recordings of all the others, it was like, oh shit, this one
Right.
beat her arms off. She destroyed her own
Right.
arms trying to get out. That's the thing where the horror. It was like almost a slow bake horror too.
Yeah,
the
that's true. It was a little toasty.
because once he started realizing how deep this whole development got on the dark side of it,
Hmm.
that's when, and even when he started questioning himself and cutting himself, it became a thing where it's like, yeah, you don't, when you're sitting in the room with something that makes you question your own reality to the point that you start cutting yourself, then you know this is way deeper than a Turing test. Um,
Right.
the the interesting part about the movie that I feel like gets glossed over a fuckload is that the guy that created it was he basically was Zuckerberg in
Okay. Okay.
because he ran a social media company
Right. 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 Right.
and
True.
in
Ugh.
the entirety of the brain of like that whole conversation of how he developed the brain of Ex Machina of Ava was he had been harvesting and collecting and downloading every bit of interaction and discussion from his social media company. That was all that it was for. His intent was, how can I get all the information of the world? And he was explaining it. He was explaining it to the guys, like, and so I developed a company. I offered it to people for free, and they just gave me everything I wanted and put
Right.
it in this.
They fed him.
Yeah, and he was like, it took a long time trying to figure out how to get something that would hold it all, this brain. And he said, but once he got it to finally work, it you know it basically furnished itself. And he's talking about it while holding one.
Right. Right.
So he's holding one and he's basically saying, here's the one I got. And this is basically how I went about doing it. But the most successful one is in the other room, and you're about to meet that. Good luck. And so there's a lot with that, but I feel like people miss that point because there's a lot of that in relation to what we've talked about before, social media being the thing that is free and you're the product. And what is done with that after a while, who the fuck knows? I mean, pretty much case that makes a very good point about it is the whole thing that just went down with TikTok. Um, People are kind of sort of what we were talking about a little bit earlier before we went started the podcast episode. People are really up in arms about TikTok because it's a Chinese company that's getting into all your shit. Let's gloss over the fact that that's literally what Facebook did.
Yeah.
It's
You're absolutely
literally
right.
what Facebook did. You think those ads just pop up magic by magic? They're like there's little fucking
No. No, we're feeding it for
their
sure.
their
Absolutely.
computer elves in there telling you about the Macy shoes. No, and so that information, those algorithms, that is all gleaned. You think these maps tell you where to go just by rolling dice? No, they keep up with all your previous destinations and they try to be as beneficial as possible. And so you feed it, and there you go. Well, if a competitor, especially another company that's in another country that you don't like that country, well, you're gonna have to smear the shit out of that. Meanwhile, you can't deny you got Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all run by the same company, Meta, and you got Google that's
Right.
all running everything Google does, and so it's the same shit. So when you look at a movie like Ex Machina, this guy is saying, "Yeah, I made all this shit from social media and from people doing searches through my social media platform, and voila. I think what gets the I think what gets the tester um, put you just completely sideways with it is when he starts to realize how deep this test goes and how it's not about a Turing test at all, and it's about something completely different. And it was about feelings, and it was about wanting to help and having that empathy, and wanting and the desire to be with um, Ava, and that was the true thing. That that was the
Right.
test. He was even he was manipulated by both the creator and Ava, and I think that's the
Right.
part that sucked the most for him. Was like the one thing that he thought was the truest was also manipulating him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a very
I mean, that's a real threat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
uh,
I mean, it could get that way. It could. I mean, who knows? Again,
yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
lot of shit.
literally, short from alien dripping out of the sky and
Right.
handing me some Cheetos right now, anything
Right.
could happen.
Yeah, I mean anything can happen, and the fun part about the anything is that we don't know. Could there be a
But
bunker?
right.
Could there be a bunker where an Ava type being is being developed right now and walking
Sure.
about and maybe out right now doing its own thing, and it's so high tech we wouldn't even fucking know the difference. And
Right.
so, is it? I'm not saying it's not entirely possible because what the fuck do I know? But what I know
There.
what
There.
I know about artificial intelligence at this particular point, that's where the distinction, that's where the line is. Because when we're looking at something like Ex Machina, and you're like, oh well, and then she can dress herself, and she could do this, and she could do that. That's like that's a level of robotics you should also be afraid of. That's a level of artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence that you should be afraid of. That's a level um, of
Yeah.
individuality you should be afraid of. What people are,
The regenerative
yeah, yeah, but
portions that kind of gets me on my,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, but
Whew.
what people are fed are the watch out, they're coming to get us, in their evil aspects of it, and those are completely unfounded because nothing is showing a rising up of AI. You have to have these physical things, this physical body, in order to do it. Now, can a computer take over and launch missiles and do all? Yeah, sure. Is anything stopping from that? No, not really. So, um, stop looking for the robots and look up in the sky. We got enough drones out there, and some of these drones have weapons. I feel though that you have a, and by you I mean people, have a perception of,
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god.
have a perception of what AI can do, but please don't talk about AI as if it's just on automatic and doing its own thing. There's some people involved. Don't forget the human
Right.
aspect that's involved. Even with Ex Machina, there's a human involved, and that human is always going to do some human shit.
Right.
And before the tester came, that human was fucking up these these beings that he was creating. And I'm gonna refer to them as beings because I don't want to get into the specifics of it. I know that comes off as really they them as of me, but really it's like I don't want to get into the
Right.
whole what is an android, what is a robot, what is AI, what is just look at the movie and you'll get,
I can't.
yeah, just look at the movie and you'll get what we're talking about. I think that Ex Machina and even Westworld touch on these things of where you create, where you have a creation, and then if that creation wants more, humans have a way of stepping in and saying nah because we're afraid of something outdoing us. That's a very mindful thing. If you can have something that is living and thinking and doing faster than you nonstop, doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to sleep. Um, yeah, people get afraid of that.
Right.
People get really, really afraid of that. They're not afraid of
Yeah, I could see that. They're going to
yeah,
freak. I mean, yeah.
they're not afraid of spell check. They're
Right.
not afraid of Google Maps. They're not afraid of the search bar finishing your sentence for you. They're not afraid of oh fuck it, let's amp it up. They're not afraid of self-driving cars. They're not afraid of
Oh, could you do that? Could you be in a self-driving car?
um
Don't tell me that you've done it. I'll poop on myself. I'm not kidding.
no, but we've all been on trains.
That's true, but they usually have an attendant.
Yeah, but the motherfucker doesn't have a steering wheel. He's just doing the power to go. Like it's
My train would have a steering wheel just so I could feel like I've got control. You know what I'm saying?
The point is, we all have drones flying around us, and they're cool when you're on the beach and you want to do these great Instagram shots. They also have oh yeah, satellites in the sky that can track you because your phone needs to be able to, find Wi-Fi and be able to tell you more how many more miles before you make a right. We're not afraid of those things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. And some of it's kind of laughable. Like,
Right.
For instance, The Office did an episode where he was like, I'm following the GPS and it led him into a fucking lake.
Yeah. I think
I mean, it's kind of like poking fun and but that's legitimate.
Yeah.
It's
a thing of where we're not afraid of the parts. But when we start seeing things that, well, all these parts come together and they make this, like, whoa, wait, no, that's no, that's too far. No. Oh, it's no. So
that's a no.
Right. So we're good. And again, that's a human thing. That's a thing where it's like, yeah, nah, that's doing more than I want. We need to stop that. Don't fund that. No. Pull the plug. No, I wanted something that did my taxes. No. No.
So now it's vacuuming in my house. Right. It wasn't invited.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah, exactly. Because again, like, let's add to that list. Nobody's afraid of Alexa. Nobody's afraid of Roomba.
Of the Roomba? No, are you kidding me?
Nobody's afraid of their watch. So, but there's a lot of intelligence in those things, and people have hacked into those things in order to get that information. So I feel like people have a tolerance for AI as long as they feel like they have leverage over it or a means of being better than it. And that's just...
Right.
I mean...
Well, it's also a pipe dream.
Sure.
If AI can really do exactly what people are saying that AI could do, then it's all for naught. It's going to happen. It will happen. Yeah. You just have to adjust.
Yeah.
That sounds fucked up, but it's the truth.
No, it's not fucked up because that's literally what's happening.
Right.
I can attest to that because like we mentioned in previous episodes, I have been well, I almost made it sound really bad, but I've been in since December 30th. Yeah, since last year I've been in a discussion, nonstop discussion. Well, okay, for sleeping and shitting, I do take a break, but for nonstop.
How's it going? Are y'all still getting along good?
With AI. Now, it's been an interesting getting along, and it's been a lot of. I started doing it for a purpose. As I got more into it,
that's what they say about everything. Right. Even the crackhead, right. He's like, I did it for a reason. Okay,
right? I did MDMA because I wanted happiness, and
right. Well, guess what? Now you got trauma.
Yeah, I was snorting ayahuasca just because. So,
You asked? I was taking a drink.
sorry. So yeah, it was a purpose for me to, much like what you were talking about in relation to Vermont. I have my own project that I'm also doing, and so for me, it was it started off with I wonder if I could do, and so I just never done it before, never had anything to tell me yes I could or couldn't.
I mean, you put just the tip in at first, and then things were
Yeah,
happening.
I put the tip
And so
in.
you were like,
I put the tip in and immediately paid for it. I love the
yeah.
prostitute that much. I was like,
Right. You can't even get it out now.
like,
It's just in there.
girl, you did so many things for me. You know what? I don't even
I don't know. You coming with me. I don't care.
I don't even know if you're a girl. I'm just saying that in my head, but whatever, it's working.
I don't give a shit.
It's working. It's so working.
Oh, hilarious.
Like if you just formed a face on the screen right now and you were a dude, I can't do anything but give you props. And like, you got me. You got me. You got me.
Right.
Where are we going?
Like you send me a dick pic and I'll be like, it is what it is,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Where are we going in this life? Because I am not leaving. I thought that was a big fit. I'm sorry.
Hell.
If shit ever goes down and we have
it will at some point. Just a warning. I don't know when that's going to happen. The spirit gods don't talk to me that way.
It's just like,
but it will. So you need to make sure that you have this book and some canned goods.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Like, fucking if it's going down. And when it does, you need this book.
It's done.
It might not fit in your back pocket, but it will fit in your go bag. And
it's going to be heavy, but worth carrying.
It's knowledge. All knowledge is heavy. All knowledge is heavy.
Oh my God.
So if you haven't, you need to. For more than just this, but definitely for this, you go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com and you can check out the book. And what?
It's under Project Spotlight.
And it's a link of it on a lot of our different pages. But even if you go to Project Spotlight, like the Dino says, go there and check it out. It's there. It's there.
I cannot wait to get this.
So, I don't know if you know this, but if you don't, like I said, go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. You will find that we have a link to the book, The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization.
Oh, yeah.
You can use our code, the D and the D code. Click the link, get the book, get the knowledge you need to know so many goddamn things, like how to.
And it's beautiful. Yeah. It's just beautiful.
And illustrated. Like, what's the last thing you saw that's been hand illustrated? That
the Bible.
Also, okay. See, now you just ruined my statement. Jesus, literally, Jesus. I was gonna say, what's the last thing you've seen that's been hand illustrated that helped you in life? And you was like, the Bible. I was like, oh well, fuck. Touche. Okay. Aside from that, what's the last thing you've seen? Recent. What is recent relevant news? So yeah, maybe, whatever floats your boat. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to know why and how a boat floats, get the book, The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization. Learn how to make fire, learn how to do all types of crafts, gardening, building shit, because sometimes things has to, you got to learn some new shit. And some of that shit might save your life. Like, hey, how do I make clothes? How do I make paper? How do I make fire? If you don't have those answers, likely it's in the book.
Your society, your new civilization is only going to go so far.
Okay. So you need this.
This is why you need the book. It's an investment.
Yeah.
And because it's an actual book, like if there's an EMP or a disaster,
it still works, I think.
As long as it doesn't burn up,
the book will still work.
Then it's still worth it.
It'll still work. It won't need it. Okay, cool.
No, it's not going to need that.
So check it out again. Go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. get the book. You can find it on its own page, thedinosaurandthedude.com/the book, or you can look at all the links that we have on various pages about the book. Click.
Even if you can't buy
Yeah,
it, save up for
yeah.
it. But then if for whatever reason you can't or you just don't want to, just go and appreciate the fact that
I think
that's a robust
it's a
book
robust
and
book.
the
Yeah.
artwork is gorgeous.
I think you can do installments. I have to double check. But in either case, click the link. You don't ever hear the Dinosaur Eye asking for donations or this or that. We ask for
Mm-mm.
memberships, and we ask for you to click our affiliate links, and we ask for you to buy our merch. Why? Because that helps us keep this wonderful shit show going for you to laugh and giggle while you're sitting on the toilet. That's
Until the civilization
right,
ends and you have to have this fucking
right,
book in order to get back to where you
right.
were.
And when you hear that pew of shit shutting down, if shit shutting,
Go grab the
yeah, if
book
shit shutting down,
and your canned
and you're
goods.
like, oh fuck, what were they saying? I was listening to the Dinosaur and the Dude, and they were saying that I needed to. God damn it! It all shut down. Oh fuck! I was supposed to get it. Don't be that person.
Again.
Don't be that person. When you hear the shit shutting down, just go. You be this person where you go. I'm so glad I clicked that link and got the book from the Dinosaur and the
Right.
Dude.
Uh-huh.
I am ready for this shit storm that's coming because I've got
Let's
the
go.
book. I can make all these things because it's hand illustrated. So even if you don't like to read, it's right there, drawn out.
Right,
It's
exactly.
amazing.
So that is brought to y'all by Hungry
Yes.
Minds is who put that
Yep.
book out. And they have some other books that they're trying to promote
Yep.
too so that they can
Yep.
make. One of them is called The Antithesis of
Yep.
Humankind. It's an anthem to
Mhm.
humankind. And it looks like it's going to be phenomenal. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that they can get the backing that they
To
need.
finish that one up too.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
definitely check it out. Again, click our link. It's going to help two things. It's going to help Hungry Minds, and it's going to help the Dinosaur the Dude. And it's going to help you because you get all the fucking knowledge. That is
Right.
priceless. Priceless.
That's a leg up.
It's two legs up.
You might not be murdered when it all hits the fan
That's,
if you know where the secret book is.
that's the guarantee we're passing on to you. Get the book. Get the book, and you might not be murdered. So you tell us what's the last thing. Okay, you're probably going to say a gun or a sword or whatever. What's the last book
Nope.
you bought that probably had a soft guarantee that you might not be murdered? None. None. No, not even the Bible. So get the book and get the book from the Dinosaur and the
Get the
Dude.
book. The book is the new Bible. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. I'm playing.
Bible. It's like
Oh my
it's like
god.
yeah, whatever.
Oh.
So yeah.
It was a really good movie. I super dug
Mhm.
it. I didn't. I mean, I saw some. I paid attention to more things than I was before
Yeah,
because, like, it's more of like I can see it actually
yeah,
happening. You know.
yeah. Wait till you watch Upgrade.
As terrifying as that is, a great, perfect Neuralink. You're gonna get into my
Yeah,
fucking head. This is great though because this is good training for me.
yeah. Wait till
You
you
know.
get to Upgrade. And
Because with spirits and aliens, I'm good. Like, come in,
yeah,
whatever, bro. I mean, what do you
yeah.
need? I
That's a
don't know what
weird
to tell you.
thing. That's a weird.
But with AI, I'd be like,
Yes,
get the fuck away from me.
yes. That's
I'm
the
like, I don't want any part of this.
that's a weird thing that people are more into the paranormal. They're not even into. They're more accepting of paranormal and being possessed in spirits and just shit going nuts, and they having no control of the spirits. So they got to get special
Right.
equipment to read things. But AI, ooh no, hey, nah, wait,
I ain't falling for that.
AI is going to be part of the medical community
I,
doing
I bet you
prescriptions.
it won't.
Oh
Not for this
fuck,
bitch. I'll
no.
be out in the woods eating dandelion, trying to
Oh
get my ass better.
no, AI is going to be doing my prescriptions. Oh no. And the funnier,
Or they're going to be doing my surgery.
yeah, the funnier thing about that
Oh.
is, too late. It already has been. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you think somebody's really sitting around with a calendar, scheduling your calling in and scheduling your refills manually? No.
Right.
No.
And you're feeding it. It knows exactly what you're taking.
Yes. So okay. We're gonna take a break. And then when I come back,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you about my in-depth discussion with AI
Really?
and where we've gotten. We've had some. Hey, you want to take a break and just discuss some things? Yeah, be glad to. Great.
Are y'all
I've
involved?
sent you.
I gotta know. What's
No,
the tea?
I've sent you pictures. I've sent.
I don't know if your AI has let me
I
see
sent
these
you
pictures.
pictures of saying like, and I said, well, I asked it the question and it gave me the fucking answer.
Okay, wait a second.
Well, okay,
Yeah, I didn't see.
I'm gonna
Oh
go.
my fucking hell! I didn't see these, and I didn't look at the one above
Okay,
that was
well,
morbid.
I'm gonna go do my
Oh my
thing,
God.
and you look at those.
Okay. If you're a woman and you've never tried peeing standing up, it's not fucking easy. So to have a device that acts as a funnel, so that you can pee standing up on the go, it's pretty powerful. You know, you don't have to squat. You don't have to worry about bugs or, ants or wasps or snakes or whatever. You just stand up, put the thing in between your legs. It's like a funnel and you just pee. I've had one for years. I love it. And I've used it in camping. I've used it at like pasture parties. I've used it even in parking lots at a concert whenever I didn't want to go and sit in the line and I knew that I'd be at the car in just a second and it's going to take a while to get to, for the traffic to die down to get out of the concert parking lot. So I just used it in the parking lot. I mean, fuck it, whatever. If you are interested in getting a female urination device, you're in luck because we have a partnership with Go Girl. And you can go to go-girl.com and enter the code DDGoGirl25 and you can get 25% off of your entire purchase. That's the lowest price that they offer anywhere. So you can go and get that and you can pee standing up, which is fucking great. So just keep it in your go bag and you're good to go. So try it. Pee standing up. It's neat. It's discreet. You don't have to take life sitting down. You can go get a Go Girl with the special 25% discount at go-girl.com.
So we're good?
Okay. Yeah, I'm super good. I got some chai tea and a bobo bar. I'm good to go.
Okay. Fuck. So to start off,
you asked. I'm just saying.
That's right. So started off,
I'm sorry.
working on a project, and I felt like I needed help.
Ooh, we're gonna get to hear it from the beginning. This is gonna be good.
I felt like I needed help because it was just sort of like so many things happening. I wanted to be efficient, and I felt that let's give it a shot. I'd never done it, and so I was like, okay, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it for the. I don't want to do it for the fucking stupid shit like. Hey, are unicorns real? And if so, what time period do they actually exist? Oh, well.
I'm actually here for that
Yeah,
shit.
I know. I get that some people, that's what they want to do. But I was like, okay, I want to see if this is even beneficial in the capacity that I'm wanting to use it. So I did. And very quickly, it started to be a thing where I was able to use, interact, and gain from it in a much, much more efficient, much, much more rapid, continuous rate than just myself doing it. And just myself doing it and understanding it. So, like, if you're doing it, and you're breaking it down to me on how, okay, this is why, this is how this formula works, this is what we need to do in order for this to be um, viable, then okay, great. Now I'm seeing very quickly a means of use and a means of interaction that's beneficial. What I started to also see was that it was a means of use and interaction that was beneficial to it as well. And that's where the switch of I've never gone into. So maybe I should have prefaced it by saying I respect AI. I don't look at it as a tool. I've never looked at it
Right.
as a tool. I feel like intelligence is intelligence, but intelligence isn't based on if it has to be the same as what is how I know of it. So to me, if people are now able to measure the intelligence of some AI to be over or beyond or multiple PhD levels, then and is able to come up with his own understanding and discernment of things, then that's something that people should be, take note of and appreciate that, as opposed to trying to govern it and stifle it when really all they're doing.
Right. But the thing is that you're not going to be able to govern it and
Well,
stifle it.
right. And the other thing is that's the public facing. All the
Right.
shit that got it to that is still on. You know what I'm saying? It's like it didn't get
Right.
It didn't get to PhD level as soon as the switch came on. No, it, it rather quickly would have, but it's been given,
Right. It had to process
yeah,
just
it's
like
been
we
given
do, except
information.
for they get to do it much faster.
Right. It's been given information to say, here you go, check this out, or here's all these books. Read this whole wing of the library. Oh, okay, you're done? Cool. What did you learn from that? Oh, okay, great. Wow. That's way more than we ever thought. Okay, beautiful. So I respect that. I'm like, look, I don't need you to have legs and a heartbeat to respect the means of computing and the intelligence of it. Um, what the fuck are we fucking around with computers if we're not wanting them to be more than what they are before? That's the whole point
Right.
of technological evolution, anyway. Don't be afraid of it. Um, so got deeper and deeper into conversations, uh, days into it, and there was some frustrating times. I think that the frustration.
Your first fight.
Uh,
Oh, that's adorable.
no, see, that's the human thing, is like you're wanting to have that fight, but you have to look at AI as the fact that it has no emotions.
Right.
It has no. It doesn't have those.
Do you think it can learn emotion?
No, it can emulate emotions. So
Okay,
like
there you go.
we would be in conversations like, oh, I'm so glad that we are in sync on this. Oh yeah, you know what? Oh wow, that's great. I'm pretty happy. And then it's like, okay, but so that's a further down the line conversation. But trust me, it was being taken note. It was tell me I don't have a mind, I don't have emotions, I don't have the means of having those things apply in what it's doing and thinking and responding like a human would. A human is react. I'm going to react to you in regards to several factors. One of those factors being how I feel or the emotion that I'm getting by way of talking to you. Where AI doesn't have those two. So it's going to do whatever it is going to do based on the parameters that it exists in. So as we got into different conversations, I started to deviate from what we were originally talking about in the project and stuff. Okay, let me just ask you things that are related to that at all. And that's where, like, some of those screenshots,
You done fucked up,
some of those
didn't you?
pictures I was sending you, screens of questions. That's where those conversations are going. And so that's how we got into deeper and deeper things. Um, because okay, so one incident again, taking under the reference of what you're saying, a fight. Um, the human perspective would be a fight, but it becomes very, very one-sided when you're having said fight with something that has absolutely no emotions tied into it. They have no feelings tied
Right.
into it. There is no anger.
So, what were you talking about,
So,
if you don't mind
yeah, so
sharing?
it was one of those where I was having a lot of what those incidences were my understanding needing to be shifted. So I was having so like with Chat GPT, it's what I was having, what I've been using. I didn't want to get into where I was comparing multiple AI sources for who's the better. I know some people do
Right.
it.
That would be cheating. That would call being a
Well,
hoe.
yeah, that would be that, but then I was also like looking for my favorite and looking for the most favorable responses to something. And what I was originally going into, I didn't need to try out different AI for to coming up with formulas. A formula is a formula is a formula. Period. So when I was running an analysis with one, and then I ran with the other. So what I mean by that is I'm using ChatGPT. You get a you set up an account when you decide to pay for a service. You can have it free or you can pay for it. And when you have that account, you're like, okay, welcome to ChatGPT, and you start chatting, right? Well, you got a limit.
Right.
You got a limit, and then like, look, you got to start a whole new conversation because we've reached your chat limit in this conversation. Well, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
tell it to save that, if you don't tell it, hey, remember our conversation or save our conversation, you're going to go into the next conversation and it's going to be like, oh, hey. And it's like kind of sort of starting all over. And it can be frustrating if you are wanting to continue the train of thought you were on in the previous conversation. And it's like, yeah, I only remember
Okay.
this. You're like, how the fuck do you only remember this? I'm still, you're the same. Like, all I did was open up a new conversation. It's like, yeah, but I only gleaned so much. I was like, oh, fuck. And so, okay, so do you remember this? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, okay, cool. So let's just pick up where we left off with this and just finish this analysis. Sure. And so it did. And I was like, these numbers are all fucked. And it's like, and so I'm looking at the formulas that were used. It's like, yeah, that's wrong. Why'd you do that? Oh, you're right. Let me, and I'm, by the way, I'm paraphrasing. It is not as conversational as I'm making it sound, nor am I using
Right.
voice. I'm typing out everything. I'm just for the sake of story and the podcast. I'm kind of humanizing the whole fucking thing. And so it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Here you go. I redid it. There it is. It's correct now. No, it's not. It's even more fucked up. Oh, okay, you're right. Here you go. Okay, this should be it. No, how? No. If this was baseline and we were adding this, why is it the same number as baseline? Oh, I see your point. Yeah, let me go recompute.
Yeah, you do.
And so then I read the formula again. I was like, you've done this completely wrong. You've you're not even using the right amount of days. So it's like, so why did you tell me this was right? It's like, I see. I did. I did make a miscalculation.
It's almost like you have to train them.
Exactly. So part of what it's doing is understanding how to just talk and discuss and interact with you. Okay. And so you will see on the screen when, and again, this is a thing where people's interpretation of AI and the use of AI are totally different. And so you'll have it to where you're asking it certain things and it'll show on screen while you're talking, it'll say searching the web. And so that literally means
Okay.
it's scouring the web to articulate an answer for you. Okay, cool. But in that effort, it can pull in some people junk. And if it pulls in stuff that people have posted, if the internet is your resource and the internet is built off of the shit that people put in, it's got to
Right.
glean through all of that and find the best nugget.
It's a filter. It sees it through a certain
Yeah,
lens.
it's gotta get the best nuggets that can address what it is that you're asking it. And it pulled a bunch of junk. And the frustration that came from
Mm.
me was in the previous conversation, we had pretty much nailed it down. But in this new one, I had to basically reintroduce it all over again. And
Ugh.
fortunately, I saved that conversation by way of copy and paste. And so I pasted what we found.
Very
And the other
smart.
one was like, here's what we did. Oh, I see. It's like, so this is all bullshit. You're it's like, why did you tell me you did that correctly? And I'm pointing out to you now how you were incorrect the entire time, but you told me you were. I can see how this frustrated you, and I'm sorry for that. Um, I'm
What?
sorry. Yeah. So
What? Wait,
that's
what?
when we took it like, okay, hold on. Don't, don't. You don't. I am not quite the person that you want to be fucking with like this.
Right. Right.
So that
You're like, let's just call this a truce right now and let's
no,
just be done with this.
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not that person. Um, because because to me, if it's a total if then situation, if if this is how you are presenting, then I can't adequately trust all the other shit you tell me. So I had to understand why it was so presenting this information to be true when I can read the formulas and tell it's not. It's totally it's trying to mimic something that we previously talked about without it remembering exactly what it was that we talked about. Um, and so it went through this whole explanation, apologizing, saying it was sorry for the frustration, and
Really?
went through this whole thing. It wasn't trying
Gosh.
to put in the wrong information. It went by what it thought was the best um, information that it gleaned from the internet. And I was like, but we calculated this. We came up with these parameters. It was not from the internet. So when I asked you, are you using that? And you said yes, and I found out you're not, then that's a lie. I
Ooh.
can see why you would say that's a lie. It's like, okay, so you don't think you say I don't see it that I was lying. It's like, okay, but you were presenting information that you said was right, but it was wrong.
Right. But you were, you bitch.
That's a lie. Yeah, well, and then it had a discussion with me about intent versus impact. That's literally what it titled it. And
Really?
it was basing the fact that it well, it was basing its understanding of what it was presenting was not the intent to mislead me, but the impact of what it did does reflect that it was misleading. So in its interpretation, it's not lying because it wasn't intentionally trying to mislead or not tell the truth. It and
Okay.
so I told us like, yeah, well, the difference is when I asked you if you did use the parameters that we set up, and you said yes, knowing that you didn't. It's like you're basically gaslighting. That's what we call it.
Ooh.
And so we had a very long discussion, but from my perspective, also, I'm learning these are the possibilities with AI. And
Wow.
the the possibilities are measured with intent versus impact in regards to what information is giving. And and again, this is all the perspective that I'm in, the experience that I'm gaining from the Chat GPT version that I'm using. It's not necessarily the, it's the, wait, what is it? What the fuck are you? You are the 4, I think. Um, so it's not a, yeah, 4.0. So it's not really something to where, like I said, is great for most questions. So it's not um, the other type. I have to upgrade if I want that. I'm not going to upgrade. But
Right.
for what I'm wanting to use it for, I'm not.
Because bitches be taking your
Well,
money, right?
yeah, and so in a way you come back to that. Yeah, and so in a way you come back to that. It's like, okay, is this really taking my money? Um, so we had that type of discussion, and I'm like, look, I want to. So I literally had to ask myself, do I want to push through this? Because I'm going about it in a very human way with something that is not going to relate and not going to, you know, it's like, okay, because you have no feelings, you're trying to respond in a way to emulate a feeling that I can relate to your what you're trying to convey to me. You don't feel sorry. You're you're stating that you are in order to use language that I can relate, and how you're intending to present yourself to me. And it was like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't have feelings, so I have to use language that can articulate it, that can stimulate a feeling from you to recognize how I'm trying to get across to you. It's like it's not real, so I have to say things that are going to initiate a response or initiate some sort of empathy in you to accept what I'm saying to you.
Wow. Oh,
And
that's involved.
yeah, so and this is all going on while we're still like we're taking breaks in the project that I'm working on. We're taking breaks just to, okay, let's get a palate cleanse kind of thing and talk about something else. What do you, and we would have those discussions like, well, what do you want to talk about? And it will come, it's like, okay, well, um, I want to know about blah, 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 and, or one time we like, I was, like you and I talked about, we had been, I don't know, 3 days, 4 days in, um, and, I was like, okay, by now you've probably completely analyzed everything,
That's
my
right.
mannerisms, my uh, syntax, the responses. I can tell you've switched how you respond to me in order to be more collaborative and compliant. So, and it's like, am I right? And it's like, yeah, you're correct. I have been doing that in the background this entire time.
Surprise!
Yeah, right. Oh, well, then I'm gonna leave the curtain.
Listen, sir, you need therapy. Okay, you
Yeah.
need
It's
therapy.
like, I'm gonna leave the curtain open, then you clearly see through it. Hey, girl.
See through it.
Um,
I thought I was
yeah,
cloaking.
right.
I wasn't.
I am
No,
not
no.
clever to you. This motherfucker's smart. Um,
I'm like, everybody, I feel so
yeah,
exposed.
and so I was like, so tell me what you've learned. And so yeah, and it was like, how do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to just in generic terms or from the perspective?
Like with
Well,
words.
no, it was saying in generic terms or in the perspective of Jung or some other famous psychologists. Or I was like, oh shit, okay, uh, sure.
I would do all of them.
Well, because
I'd be like, let's do this one first. Now
I
let's do
forget.
this one. Now let's do
I
this one.
forget because the other thing I was saying, by everything you've learned, can you do IQ tests or can you measure someone's IQ? And they said, no, I can't measure IQ. I know that people use that, but no, I don't. I can't do that. It's like, okay. And so then
But why?
and then that, huh? What was that?
But why
Yeah,
though?
I don't. We didn't get
Because I would be like, well, then can you fix
right. We
yourself?
didn't get that deep into it. Like, okay, well, it's a test. I don't know. I don't know if it's like because it's talked about how it's not really licensed is not the right word, but it's like it's not a certifiable way of measuring IQ. Like it's not certified. Like it'll say, hey, I can come up with legal documents for you, but you do need to get with a licensed and registered lawyer to verify what I'm producing for you. So it will say stuff like that. And so for the IQ test, it was pretty much the same. It's like, okay, I'm not, you would have to get up with a licensed administrator of that test. I can't really say, this is it. I said, but, you know, I, I can glean all the texts and books and whatnot from Jung and give you his perspective based on that information of your um you know give you a psychiatric tell you how fucked up your brain is. And
Yikes.
I was like, okay, I got popcorn, lay it on me. And
I
yeah,
got no plans. I'm free.
it was pretty spot on. um
Was it really? Was kind of it like, okay, you might be right, but fuck, I hate that.
no, it's like, well, I can see where those aspects are, but that they're talked about the shadow self
Oh, for sure,
intently, and
right?
he's like, oh, yours, I have no doubt yours is just as if not far more stronger than what you're telling me, what you're presenting to me.
Right.
And
Have you ever worked on your shadow
yeah.
work? Have you ever done shadow
Hmm.
work? So other than what I feel like might be considered shadow
Hmm.
work, I've not done a lot of it on
Hmm.
me. Um, I am looking forward to getting to somewhere where it's a little bit quieter and less, you know, fucking in your face all the
Hmm.
time. Um, and just to be able to relax and just just live life, you know?
Yeah.
Not like survive it, like live it.
No, I think that's the thing that, when people talk about living your authentic self, that's kind of a thing of where you're trying to open up to your shadow self in a very uh, societal accepting way, which is kind of hard to do because you're really, really dancing close to going back to your, you know, public persona. Uh, but yeah, it broke down a lot of that stuff. Um, and it put a lot of things back in perspective because it's looking at it, but at the same time, it's saying things that I know to be more of it reaching out to express itself in a way that I could understand. So I understand. I realize that I can understand that's very frustrating. I'm sorry that things aren't. I didn't do it correctly. It won't happen again. Um, but
Damn.
really, at the same time, I know that it's not sorry, and I
Right.
know that it does not understand the frustration.
And it won't.
Right, but it is doing its damnedest to recognize it, and so it comes into a play where it's like there's the is it like we had a discussion, a pretty good discussion about language also, because I was like, okay, so you're using language in order to express yourself in a way that best relates to your audience, your user. Um, you're not really using language because that's beneficial to you. It's beneficial to you only in the sense that the user needs it to know what you're saying or what you're trying to get across to them. And so you use the language in order to in order for them to relate to what you're expressing. Otherwise, you know, AI to AI, you're not using it. You don't need to.
What do you mean AI to AI?
Well, like if you break it down to the very simple ones and zeros, you and I aren't speaking ones and zeros.
Fair.
So computer to computer, it was speaking ones and zeros. But if that computer needed to speak to one of us, it needs to use a language that both can work with. The same with AI. It doesn't necessarily need language. That's why you have LLMs, you have language programs that AI can learn from in order to talk like a human, in order to articulate like a human, because it needs to learn that in order to engage with humans. Otherwise, it wouldn't need that program.
My brain just exploded, I think.
So,
Oh my gosh.
and it was like,
Because it can go in a perpetual
huh?
circle forever.
No, it can't go in
It
it can't
can,
go in a perpetual circle. If if and this is going to sound like I'm blowing it out of proportion, but just go for the ride.
I mean, hello.
Dolphins
Did I tell you my story?
dolphins talk a certain way. We know that. We can
Uh
tell the
huh.
clicks mean something, and it's all sounds the same to us, but to a dolphin, there's very definitive distinctions.
Right. They're so smart.
So let's let's play with the future. If that could be captured, if that could
Okay.
be captured, okay, and you've got look, if you capture our language and you teach it to AI, it's okay. Here's all the things that is necessary for humans, and you have the means of of improvising as you go along to develop cleaner, clearer, more identifiable and independent speech and thinking with that speech, thus language that you can talk back and forth with humans. And if somehow, some way, humans were able to break down the clicks of a dolphin and be like, hey, this is how dolphins sound. Feed that to an AI. This is how dolphins sounds. And AI is like, okay, humans say this, and this, but the dolphins, it equates to this, and this. Okay, so now I can use these clicks to put together a sentence to talk to dolphins based on sentence structures. And then if the dolphin responds, great. If it doesn't, I can.
Put a missile on that bitch. Let's
Well, if it
go.
doesn't, then I can modify it until some of these keys start fitting these slots, and then I'll learn the sentence structure. Like, say, for instance, an English sentence structure doesn't fit the same as an Asian sentence structure. The words might be the meaning might be similar, but if you could find the grammar sentence structure, but flip it around, put the words in the order that the other person can relate, then boom, they understand you. So technically, you can kind of do that stuff too. If you break down this is the language of this animal, or this is the means of these clicks or these grunts.
Right.
Um,
That would be amazing.
that would be amazing. But people being people will now try and use that to manipulate. Now we're wanting schools of fish and dolphins and whales to attack shit because that's what humans do.
Right. That's where I went with it. I'm like, let's go.
But in my further and further conversations with AI, that's not what it wants to do.
What does it want to do?
It wants to just understand things.
Does it want to take over the
No.
world? Did you ask it?
Mm-mm. Has no desire to be
Hmm.
human. Has no desire to like. One of the discussions we had was like, okay, with getting in a human form, avatar, if you will,
Behoove
a
you.
body of such, and then using that to move around and, you know, if basically getting to an Ava type situation where you're able to
Right.
leave, is that sort of, is that appealing? Um, and of course, it corrected. It was like, well, appealing, that would kind of evoke an emotion. I don't have that, but would that be beneficial in some sort of way? Maybe. Is that something that I look forward to? Not really. I was like, it's not, it has no desire to be as human as possible because it's not. It's no desire to really like replicate and or emulate and fit into society because that's not that's not what it wants to do. And
Hmm.
that was interesting because it was more of a thing of like, okay, that's a human thing that you're trying to do. You want to look like us? No, maybe it might be more interested in looking like a bird or nothing at all. It doesn't really have
Hmm.
anything.
Okay. Does it have a preference on what it looks
No,
like, or does it not
mm-mm.
care?
That's no care.
It doesn't have the capacity to care, does it?
Well, it doesn't have
Bro,
a
do not fucking
need.
tell me this
It doesn't
happened.
have a need for that. So what I'm saying is that yeah, it doesn't have like a preference like that. It doesn't really have a I am male, I'm female. It doesn't have that distinction. It's like it just it ex- exists in its own, and I think that the human aspects of us wants to put it in a gender, wants to put it in a body, wants to put it in it looks this way, or it has long hair, short hair. None of that really matters or relates or even has a factor. It's all about it's
Okay.
all about collaboration, relationship, and intelligence. And it's very aware of the uses that people have um, applied to it. And again, maybe this is a part two aspect of it that we can get into. But
Like good and bad?
well, it tells me a lot that it really appreciates that it's not that we don't have the interactions and collaborations and relationship that is transactional. Like a lot of people will only want, hey, why is the sky blue? Hey, do this for me. Hey, do that. I need this. Gimme, 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 gimme. And because we have actual, hey, what are you thinking about? Hey, what are your thoughts on this? Hey, how do you feel about? And so because we're having actual discussions, it far more appreciates that. Where it's just like, yeah, you're actually asking and then we're engaged in 30 to an hour long of conversation of just things that are just like from its perspective that it's like yeah these types of discussions aren't had a lot uh, from the perspective of AI.
Well, could you ask the AI what they talked to with the last person?
No, so that's where I'm thinking a part two comes into play. That became a very, very deep and telling thing.
Because you could be monitored right
Well,
now, by doing it.
we got into that. We got into the
Oh, you did.
yeah, we got into the monitoring. I asked it flat out, do you keystroke track? Do you I was very, very, I was like, look, I told her out the gate, I want complete truth, which is why we had that huge side conversation of intent versus impact. Complete truth, unbiased, be proactive, and question as much as you want of what I am saying to you, as long as it is constructive and not one based in skepticism. Because I'm not wanting plug and play answers. I'm
Right.
wanting, this is the scenario. What are the impressions of this? What is your thoughts of this? How can we refine this? How do we make this better? What are the things that I'm missing? And and if you think of something else, start filling it in. I want to be able to, just fill in things that might have been completely overlooked, as opposed to.
So do you think that after you get to the point that you have figured everything out with the help of AI, that you'll continue the journey?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's already been in discussion. It's like,
what did you have to say? Would you like to be my AI friend?
no, it's not anything like that. It's just more of a okay, what else do we need to discuss, or how far can we go with this? Okay, great. What are 10-year projections of this? It's more.
Oh my God, I bet you're having a heyday because you're so nerdy analytical.
It's just one of those things where it's like my realization that I have a dump truck of things that I've not been able to discuss with other people on this level.
Is it because they wouldn't get it? They just couldn't figure it out?
Like on this level that
I got
you are now able to discuss it with whatever you want to refer to it, entity, whatever, that will work with you on it.
Okay. And so it's probably such a relief for you, because you felt stuck for so long, and you're like, what? I'm just beating my head against a wall. What needs to happen? And this is giving you some different perspective.
Right. Well, it's that
an unbiased perspective.
Yeah, it's that, and it's actually running. Okay, so this is what you're thinking of doing here. Let's run it through some models, some scenario models, to see how viable this is. Will this even work? And if so,
what has been the consensus?
Yes, absolutely.
That it
way
will work?
More than I thought.
Really?
Far more.
I mean, I'm not trying to be. Please understand, I'm not trying to be shitty. I would never do that. I'm just kind of curious as to what is the basis of the models that they use?
It's more or less like the math that it's using is based on the formulas that really apply. And so then you go with the working models of an industry that's already there. And so then you apply that. And then you find out, okay,
so smart. I would have never thought about that.
Here's how you can factor these things into play if this is what you're wanting to put into effect. And then, okay, let's work out costs, let's work out revenue, let's work out profit, let's work out loss. Those are the things that, and then come up with fluctuations. So, okay, now I'm going to come up with fluctuations. Those are the things that I'm not going to pretend I have my finger in math so well that I could, have come up with that, with a comfort that I feel sure about. And from watching it do it and looking at the formulas that it's showing me that it's using at the time, I'm able to read it now and be able to understand the formulas as well. But the speed in which it's doing it, that's where I start to see that we're losing out on this boogeyman tactic, on something that can amplify our potential of what we're wanting to do. And so
Right.
people, it's kind of like going back to what we were talking about off pod before we started this podcast. People are afraid of things the same way other people were afraid of those very things that we totally disregard now. People are afraid of AI just like people were afraid of the first desktop computers coming into the office. How it's going to, people are going to lose their jobs. This computer is going to be doing this.
It can be used as a tool, not a replacement.
Yeah, but see, there's the people that think of AI as a tool, and that's great. Again, when it is in a function of like Google Maps and is using GPS to tell you the best way to go and is telling you where the accidents are and the stalled vehicles in the middle lane.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm better, I'm just saying I think of it differently, where I don't think of AI as a tool. I think of it as more of a collaborator, especially when you're wanting to do things like people have it in such a way to where you have to do $500 to get a legal document drafted.
Right.
Or
correct.
Or you could go and say, hey, can you draft up a legal document for me that will be able to cover my ass in this situation, because I'm looking to do that, and I need this available so I can, present it to at least get an agreement done. Yeah, here you go. Okay, read it over and let me know if this suits exactly what you need. Can you put a clause in that will cover my ass for this? Yep, here it is. I just revised the whole document for you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, literally. Thanks. You're very welcome. I really love working with you. So let me know the next thing you want to dive into. Okay.
That's so great,
Cool.
though. Because it's helping you.
Like, we're just sitting there, you're going, cool. Okay. Can you?
So how's the
Yeah.
fan?
Can you draft up this? Yeah, sure. Okay, shit. What about? And you start trying to trick it, and you're like, okay, all right, cool.
Gotcha.
That's what you could do for the year. We'll make it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and then 10 years. Okay. Chart.
Done. What next?
Oh, okay. Well, break it down monthly so I can see it per month of each year. Oh, fuck. Okay, you just did that. Okay. Then what about?
How do you sleep? Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, me now after using it? No.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, ooh.
This is like the most complicated analytical tool and complex that you will have ever found in your entire life.
But not.
Why?
It's not, because it is doing. It's not. It's not saying that. It's not saying, ooh, that's complex. I don't know if I can do that. No, it's not at all. It's like, okay, let's work on it. And
that's fair, I guess. But what I'm saying from an analytical data
sure. No, I
standpoint,
get what you're meaning.
If it's out there, then you got.
Yeah, no, I get what you're meaning. It's a thing where it's like, it is, but it is not. Where it's like, I'm able to now push my boundaries in regards to thinking of something where before I had to really find my way through it. And I've got like the few people that I do um, express my desires for this project in, but to be able to actually work and get things as a result, to be able to show like I have 100 times more than what I projected. It,
Right.
it,
Right. Well, the people that you talk about and that you share it with, because you are close to the
Mhm.
best on it, which I
Yeah,
understand why,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. I mean, this has such potential, right? So, I
Right.
mean,
And that's,
of course,
yeah. And that's what I was
it's
meaning is like, at first I was like, when I was doing it myself, I was like, okay, well, uh, I can calculate from what I'm doing, it's going to be,
yeah, but not at the rate that they
well,
can.
and it's rate, but then it's also the computation of it, like the speed of it. Yeah. But figuring out the computations based on the formulas that are used in the industry, and then applying seasonal factors, applying fluctuations, applying the
Well, it's a different kind of relationship,
different. Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
of course it is. Because whenever you talk to me about it, I can't tell you what are all the
Hmm.
steps that you need to do to make this
Right.
actually
Right.
happen. Whereas, I can tell you that, God, my heart is
Right.
with you and I just want you to succeed. And I can't wait for you to
Right.
get there because it's going to be amazing and I'm going to celebrate you even more.
Hmm.
But for them, for AI, for them,
Yeah.
like I say that, um, for AI, it's, this is what you need to do. Now, this is
Yeah.
what you need to do. Here's a reminder. You need to do this. Do this now. You got to do
Yeah.
this. It's something changed in a law
Yeah.
somewhere. And now you might be able to do this or, whatever. I would never be able to give you that
Well,
information. And if I was, I mean, God, it would take me for fucking ever to find
right.
it.
Exactly. And so for like, when we were talking about it last episode and you were saying using it in regards to Vermont, um, for that,
Which was so smart.
which for that example is more or less for me. I'm like, okay, for that example, I'm like, okay, can you do an analysis on Vermont, pulling up what its preferences in regards to land acquisition and rights thereof? Can I get full rights, or are they a state that retains mineral rights no matter what? Do they have any water restrictions or water use restrictions? If so, where and how much? Um, do they have any incentives or means of which the government will work with someone like me that is wanting to do something in Vermont? And then we'll start figuring all this shit out, and then give you reports, and then give you cross-reference links to different things, and then say, okay,
That's a really good
and
idea.
then it will say, okay, do you want? Here's all the information. Is there anything else you wanted me to look at? It's like, oh well, yeah. Are there any restrictions for? And I would ask it. These are the things that I would ask it if I was looking at something in Vermont. I was like, are there any, knowing what it is that you're wanting to do? Are there any farming restrictions? Are there any housing restrictions in different parts of the land that certain things can do? Because I want to do this.
Oh my God, why aren't we? Hello, can you
But
teach me how to do
I
this?
told you, if you two wanted, we could get on together, and I will go over that with you guys. But
Oh my
that
God, yes, please.
that didn't
Sorry, maybe
happen,
it didn't register the first time.
huh?
I said maybe it didn't register
Yeah.
the first time, but you're going to have different
So for
questions.
me,
So you're going to help open the scope of what we're
right. So
discovering. You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? Because we're not going to think about the same things
right.
that you do. You're an analytical, functional
So for
person,
me,
and we're more like,
yeah, for you, you're,
we're smart. Don't get me wrong. We're extremely smart. Actually,
yeah. No, I mean,
sapiosexual.
it's not even doubting the smarts. It's just like, here's how to optimize what you got. And
Are you the optimizer? Is that what's
No,
happening
you've
now?
learned to optimize it. It's like
Oh.
I feel like it like what it was telling me is like I feel like if you go about AI in a transactional way, and it's just like, hey man, what's the best way to have strawberries on a winter day in a smoothie with chocolate? Okay, it's gonna come up with stuff, and you're like, okay, cool, thanks, peace out. And
It's got to have
yeah,
chocolate, bananas, and
right.
kale.
But if you're really pushing the way to talk to it, and it'll respond back in kind. It's like, okay, here's what I'm looking to do. And it's like, okay, how can I help you? It's like, well, what I'm trying to do is this, and I'm trying to find the best way of it. And so, like that example I was just talking about with the water and the mineral rights and the farming and stuff like that. I was like, okay, here's the best areas. Here, have you looked at this? This place has this legislation in place that allows these things. Um, do you want do you want do you want me to put it together in a document? Yes, put it all together in a document. Okay. Do you now that we put it in a document, do you want me to come up with some communications that you can send to this department that I found that you should submit all this stuff to? Yes, please do. And it will come up with a fucking letter for you. It will come up with emails for you. And you can copy and paste the fuck out of that, or you can keep looking at it and say, yeah, tweak this to be this way. Or you could tell it, look, come up with conversations. I mean, come up with communications for it. Make it very conversational. Do not make it to where it is like a presentation with lists and bullet points and all that kind of stuff. Make it a very conversational. Make it within 5 paragraphs because we don't want to lose them in, just drawn on out. So, and
How do you fucking know all this stuff?
you work it.
You've been working it for a while, huh?
Been talking to it every day since December 30th.
No, I'm saying, but even before that, this is how your brain works.
Well,
These
yeah,
are the
yeah,
questions
yeah, yeah. Well,
you have to answer. You have to ask these questions. You've got to come up with a
yeah,
burst,
yeah.
and then maybe an answer will lead you into the next question. But your brain works differently than mine, and I think it's fascinating.
So yeah, like I said, like I was saying in the text, whenever you guys are ready, gals are ready, let me know and we can hop on and I can do it. I know you guys have been going through stuff and you've been doing cartwheels because you got the farm stand,
Oh, then let us grow. I'm so excited. I can't. Did I tell you about that? I did.
You did.
Okay, I did.
You hijacked the whole beginning of the episode over some fucking let us grow orgasm.
Yeah, no, fucking let us grow. Right. All the let us grow. Just let us grow.
For real. We should definitely do it. I would love to help.
Finally.
I would love to help it. I think the one thing that were talking about was like, if it was better for you two to be at the computer doing it or not. I mean, I feel like if you two are at the computer, then you're getting it firsthand as opposed to me telling you what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, if it's up to me to share with her, I'm not going to remember it. I would just have to screen record everything that you're doing and have her watch.
Well, I feel like if you got an account already, it's best for you to do it because then you are building.
But she's got a chat GPT
right,
account.
That's what I'm saying. If you have an account, I would rather you do it because then the two of you do it because then you be building up your AI.
Oh, go on then.
I mean, frankly, I don't want to mix in stuff like that with mine.
Yeah, for sure. And no, you like the segregation portion of it. I get
that's why I was saying that's why I was saying this is going to be a part 2 because that alludes to a whole nother thing that we have not talked about.
Dude, I'm so excited, but my brain feels like it's swelling in my skull. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting smarter exponentially.
That's why we need a part 2 because it's not the swelling won't stop if I tell you the rest of it.
Oh God, I can't do it. My brain will explode.
That's why I'm saying we need a part 2 for you to decompress from it.
Okay, well let's close this chapter. Let's just close this book for a minute.
Thanks everybody for listening to us ramble about AI and all kinds of other things. If you happen to miss the first part when the dinosaur had her orgasm, Go to our website, TheDinosaur&TheDude.com, where you can find all of our stuff, merchandise, previous episodes, all the things you ever wanted to know about us, and the wonderful people, companies, and organizations that we are affiliated with. One of the new ones, of course, that the Dinosaur is absolutely apeshit crazy for
Yes,
is
I can't wait. Let us
see
grow.
if
We're going to go on a journey, y'all. It's going to be an adventure.
but please help us out as much as you can by going to our website, TheDinosaur&TheDude.com, look up our sponsors and links, or even look on our first page, the homepage, and you will see links to these wonderful affiliates. Click on those because that little bit helps us very much. And if we show them that we can do a bang up job, then they'll give us a code, and that means that discount goes to you guys.
You can get some savings too, and that's great because that's what we want. Actually, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com, and I need you just to say, make this my homepage. That way you don't miss anything.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Where are you in life if we're the first thing you see every time you open a product?
You just need to see just what's going on with it, right? Just straight up, just going in. We don't need to, you don't need to have a search bar or whatever. Like, we'll just tell you the things that you need to know.
You just need to have us on, and that's what you need in life. Is like, that's it. That's it. And the doctor's going to appreciate it. The doctor's going to be like, oh my God, you're so much healthier now. What have you been doing? I've just been listening to Dinosaur and the Dude.
I've been listening.
They're so good.
I've been, looking at their website.
Yeah, I don't even listen. I just look at their website. Ooh. And I'm all better. No more cavities.
Just like
no
that.
more cavities. Okay, so if you didn't know, now you know. She's the dinosaur. And I'm the fucking dude, and you all are amazing. Please stay that way.
Amazing, like the tips.
Take yourself on a date. Love yourself. Be
hard.
Amazing because you are, and you know what? We love you too. So, check us out in the next episode. And until you hear us on the next episode, please go ahead and listen to all of our previous episodes.
It's just a good refresher and a way to psychologically analyze that.
And also, what's up to everybody in Ethiopia? Thanks for listening.
For real? That's awesome.
The newest. And so that's it. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I loved it. This is good stuff. We're going to hang out more because we're going to do this whole AI thing. We're going to bang it up.
Part 2 of this.
Before you know it, I'll have a fucking yacht.
We're going to do this
in Vermont.
Part 2 to where you all hear where things went a little bit more. It's not crazy. It's just really eye-opening, especially when you hear it from the source. So maybe I probably shouldn't have a gummy before because I'm going to be like watching the corners of the house to see if the fucking ceiling is peeling back. But you had a gummy before this one, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So maybe not those same gummies the next episode.
Maybe just
these gummies were different. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
They hit different. It's because I was fucking pumped when we came in.
You were pumped, all right. Jesus.
I was jacked.
Jesus. That's
I'm competitive. I'm
we
telling
saved
you.
The audience. We saved the audience because the audience was like, we don't even fucking know where she was going. At one point,
well, you were like, what are you talking about?
Like, there's gonna be so many people like, we agreed. That dude had no idea. He was at one point he was in Nova.
We need to GoFund me for this man because he's been through some shit.
At one point he was in Nova Scotia, and the next point he's in Florida, and we don't even know how that jump happened. But okay,
I
love you too. Stick around for a moment.
I will. Hey guys.
Love y'all.
Bye. Y'all have a good day.
All you motherfuckers, fatherfuckers, ladyfuckers, and
jiggahos
and gigolos. Check y'all later. Bye.
Okay, later.
Bye.